What's up everyone, Tato Khatebe here. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 gemstones that are more expensive than diamonds. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. So I think it's safe to say that whenever you speak about or you think about jewelry and the gemstones that go along with it, the first gem that comes to mind will be diamonds. Thanks to amazing marketing from diamond companies, as well as the properties that make diamonds what they are, you could be forgiven for thinking that diamonds are the most valuable stones on earth. As amazing as diamonds are, there are other gemstones that you can find that are more valuable. Factors that make them more valuable range from their internal properties all the way to their rarity, all of which make them more valuable on paper than diamonds. Chances are you have not heard of any of these gemstones that I'm about to list right now, but hopefully after this video, you'll have some sort of appreciation and understanding of what other gemstones are that exist in the world. So the 5 gemstones that I'm going to be discussing are black opal, jadeite, alexandrite, red beryl, and tarfette. So let's start with number 1, black opal. So opals are very rare. About 90% of the world's opals are found in Australia. So they have to be mined very ethically and responsibly because of this rarity. Now when talking about black opal in particular, these are extremely rare. This is because they are found in a very specific part of Australia. They are found in a very small town called Lightning Ridge, which is in New South Wales. Black opal is made from a solution of silicon dioxide and water. The water then carries the silica through the Earth's crust, depositing it between the cracks in the Earth's crust. Some of the water will then evaporate, but all of the chemical deposits will be left behind. So this process will happen repeatedly over decades, and along with the pressure, the high pressure that you find in the Earth, along with the low temperatures that are found within this region, over time, that's when black opal will then form. Interestingly, black opal is not exactly black. It was given this name because it has a dark body color, which is often black or gray. Because of this dark body color, a lot of colors can be seen when you look at the stone from various angles. And this makes the fire of the black opal more apparent. Now, all that being said, a high quality black opal can cost you upwards of $10,000 per carat. Now, compared to the $2,500 per carat for a diamond, this makes black opal one of the most valuable gemstones on earth. That then moves us to gemstone number 2, and that is jadeite. Jadeite, which is found in very specific parts of the earth, such as northern Myanmar, which is an area of rock that changes slowly over time at a very high pressure and a relatively low temperature. Now, jadeite that is of a much higher value is found in places such as Guatemala and in California in the US. This variety of jadeite has a very deep, intense green color. As I mentioned before, jadeite is found in very specific parts of the earth where the environment has to be favorable for it to be able to be formed. And this is where the temperature is relatively low and the pressure is quite high, making it one of the most rare gemstones on earth. Because if all those conditions are not met at the specific time, jadeite will not form. This is what makes jadeite so rare. Rich emerald green jadeite, which is also known as imperial jade, is a very durable and hard mineral, making it perfect for intricate engraving and also for it to be turned into cabochons. What are cabochons? Cabochons are stones that do not have facets. Now, all that being said, a high quality jadeite that has that rich emerald green color that I mentioned earlier on can cost you upwards of, wait for it, $3 million. That's insane. Now let's move over to gemstone number 3, and that is alexandrite. Alexandrite is a very special mineral. It is a color-changing chrysoberyl, and it is considered one of the rarest gemstones on earth. As I've just said, it changes color, but this is only dependent on its environment. So it is a grass green color during the day and when you look at it under fluorescent light. And it is a dark red raspberry color if you look at it under incandescent light. Upon its discovery in the 1830s, geologists from a Russian mine thought that this was in fact an emerald. Now this is because it was found in an emerald mine, and that is also because it was a dark green color that is characteristic of an emerald. So they noticed that the color of the stone was changing when the sun set, and they were looking at the stone under candlelight, because it went from that dark green color and it was then eventually looking like a purplish red color. So as a way to play on this changing of color, what people do nowadays is they market Alexandrite by calling it emerald by day and ruby by night. This adds to the allure of this gemstone. Along with all the other gemstones that I've mentioned so far and all the others that I'm going to be speaking about, Alexandrite is one of the rarest gemstones on earth. So if you're able to own one, you should count yourself very lucky because these things are very hard to come by. Now, all that being said, a high quality Alexandrite can cost you upwards of $15,000 per carat. Now let's move to gemstone number 4, and that is the red beryl. Red beryl was discovered in the Wawa Mountains in Utah in the early 1900s. It was discovered by a geologist by the name of Maynard Bixby, and then about 4 or 5 years later, the stone was named Bixbyite to commemorate Bixby. Other names for this gemstone are scarlet emerald and red emerald. This is because red beryl and emerald fall under the same class from a geological point of view. So as a result, both emerald and red beryl are classified as beryls. Now, red beryl is very rare for 2 reasons. Number 1 is for its red color, which it gets from trace amounts of manganese that we find in the Earth's surface. And number 2, because the only gemstones that are suitable for gem cutting, which are beryl, the red beryl in this case, are only found in the Wawa Mountains, as I mentioned earlier on. So to put into perspective how rare the red beryl is, the Utah Geological Survey estimated that 1 crystal of red beryl is found for every 150,000 gem quality diamonds that are found. All that being said, a high quality red beryl will cost you upwards of $10,000 per carat. Now let's move over to the last gemstone, and that's gemstone number 5, and that is Tarfette. Of all the gemstones on this list, Tarfette is probably the least known and also one of the hardest to pronounce when you're reading it on a list for the first time. It has a very interesting history because prior to its history as a Tarfette, it was always mistaken for a spinel. A gemologist by the name of Edward Charles Taft was looking through a bag of cut and polished gemstones when he came across a stone that looked like a spinel. The stone was 1.4 carats in size and it was pinkish in color, and initially he thought that it was a spinel, but then upon looking at it carefully, he thought something was different about it, so he sent it off to be tested. After the stone was tested, it was confirmed that it was in fact not a spinel, and then the stone was named after the discoverer. As of recording this video, Tarfette is the first and only stone in history to be recognized as being discovered from another faceted stone. In terms of its origins, small fragments were found in Sri Lanka and parts of Tanzania, as well as parts of Myanmar, China, and Russia. For decades after its discovery, only very few known samples of Tarfette actually exist, making Tarfette one of the most rarest gemstones on Earth. Much of the Tarfette that's in circulation today is much lighter in color and can be bought for up to $2,500 US per carat. Now, on the other hand, the darker, more saturated Tarfettes can go up to $15,000 per carat. And that's basically it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you did learn something new and you've gained some insight and some appreciation for the lesser known gemstones that are out there. And you can actually see that there are more valuable stones out there that you can kind of think of as options, as opposed to just going down the route of just diamonds. That's it from me today. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.